Hey everyone, it is Kiki, and today I'm going to be doing a reaction to Mob Games' latest ARG for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. They released a video called Restricted Conditioning 1990, and it's about CatNap. Now, first I want to go into saying that I'm working on a theory right now about one of the little snippets of a screenshot that we got during the Chapter 5 release trailer with the prototype. And there's a room with like a big projector screen and a chair that is like shaped after Pianosaurus, like directly in front of it, a single chair. Now, I was doing some digging and it reminded me a lot of Pavlov's dog experiment, where basically he trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. So I think that room was for conditioning either the children before the experimentation or the experiments themselves once they were turned into toys. I thought it was like conditioning them to react to certain things, whether it's to attack on certain cues or, you know, hide when the lights are on and things like that. So this here, the fact that it says restricted conditioning makes me think I was on the right path. I really wish I'd finished editing and doing all the stuff for that theory before this came out. But we're going to do a bit of a reaction, and I'm going to go into some of the details that I was looking into if this seems to confirm what I was talking about. Okay, let's go. CatNap.
What is your name? What is your experiment number? Can you tell me who you are?
In relation, experiment 1188 CatNap. Sorry, hang on, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Was sent for reconditioning following. Okay. From the beginning, it was clear 1188 would need extensive so it was clear that they were.
Feels weird seeing them like this.
Conditioned after.
Like what?
Like feral? I don't know. I hardly recognize him.
Preston, if I didn't know you, I'd say you sounded like a new guy.
Does it ever bother you the way they act after we...
After we what?
No, not really. The work's important.
Theodore. My name is Theodore.
What was that? Was that a shocker? Was that a sedative shot, like a trank? 49 days of conditioning.
I know it's important, but you can't deny the cost is... well, there is a cost.
You just can't dwell on it. The trick is to stay focused. Besides, if Grace's treatment plan here works, 1188 won't be feral for long. What is your name? What is... yes, your name, please.
Is CatNap.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Let's just... Okay, so first of all, they were conditioning them to forget who they were before the experiment. When he was saying before, like, my name's Theodore, my name is Theodore, I'm like, okay, he's got his name. Like, because we know that the experimentation sometimes caused memory loss and things like that. But they weren't trying to get them to remember who they were before the experiment. That's why... Even when he was saying that his name was Theodore, they continued to do the conditioning, because that's not what they wanted him to think. They wanted him to see himself as CatNap and only CatNap. Obviously, the conditioning involved, like, not attacking the staff and things like that. But the scientists, you know, Dr. Harley Sawyer, who was probably involved at this point in time, you know, because we heard the VHS tape in chapter 3 of Dr. Sawyer talking to CatNap. They were conditioning them to see themselves as these toys, not remember who they were before, not remember, you know, Playtime Co. did this because we were sick and we were dying or anything like that. They were conditioning them to believe that, like in CatNap's case, CatNap was who he was. There was no Theodore before that. Maybe that was just with CatNap because of his loyalty to the prototype as Theodore, but I doubt it. And especially with like what those two scientists were saying, even like, it's so frustrating because it's like, you know, don't you feel bad when we and that cuts out and glitches and all that, and I'm like, when you do what? But I just want to go back to like what it said here. So in relation, experiment 1188 CatNap, original experiment date 11/07/1990, subject's birth name Theodore Gramble. On the 11th 1990, subject 1188 was sent for reconditioning following an incident which resulted in the death of 6 staff members and injury of 8 others. So from the beginning it was clear he'd need extensive treatment. He seems to be sedated and like in a hospital bed sort of thing. This reminds me of the, you know, similar to the room in the prototype. So maybe in the prototype's trailer. So maybe that room in the prototype's trailer, one, we know the trailers are not always correct, that they manipulate things so that they're not completely different, but that they're not explicitly clear what they are. And then when we play the game, we tend to see things have changed a little bit. With this, I wonder if either that room that was shown in the prototype's trailer was just the trailer's version of what's going on here, with CatNap sitting in front of the TV screen having all this propaganda and conditioning done, or if that room in the trailer with the Pianosaurus chair, they conditioned the kids before the experiment and then some of them needed to be reconditioned after. So I want to, like, obviously he's being conditioned.
The way they act after we...
Yeah, the way they act after we... Flashing images. Yeah, like, even this, he looks like... I'm sorry, it hurts my heart. I did feel bad for CatNap. Yeah, like, what is that? Like, is that...
Really, the work's important.
It could be a tracker of some kind, but it, like, I feel like if it was, they would just rip it out. And they're severe, like, at this point, they are completely locked down. Like, they are not going anywhere. So, perhaps it is like a shock treatment. I don't, like, it could be a trank thing, but I feel like if it was a trank thing, it would have, like, showed it more like being shot into him. That, to me, looks like a, like, electric probe that whenever he says anything that's bad, it gives him, like, a negative electric shock. But,
Theodore.
yeah.
My name is Theodore.
Yeah, see, the fact that that thing is shown and then he repeats that his name is Theodore over and over again makes me think that that thing is like a shock thing or a sedative thing that's like, my name's Theodore, and then that thing gives a shock or a drug or something like that as punishment for this thing. Like, conditioning, when I was doing my research on it, there are 2 different ways you can go about conditioning. There's positive conditioning, similar to how we train dogs, like fear-free training of dogs. They do something right, they get a treat, they get a reward. They do something wrong, like chew up your shoes, a punishment is not followed. The behavior is just not rewarded. It's not ignored. You don't feed into that by being like, oh my god, you ruined my shoe, because that is giving them attention. That is ultimately rewarding them for a behavior you're not looking for. But these guys went the other route and went the negative conditioning, where they use fear and starvation and, you know, pain normally. Fear, pain, and normally taking away vital resources like food, water, comfort, all those things it seems like they've gone the negative route so that when the experiments do something wrong, instead of ignoring that behavior and rewarding the good behavior, they are punishing the negative behavior. And perhaps they're rewarding the good behavior as far as, you know, they might be giving those that behave, like Huggy, for example, who was said to have maximum obedience, seemed to have not free reign, but he was in the main lobby area. He had access to everyone. He had access to people coming in. He had access to staff. He had access to visitors. He had access to a lot, where others like Yarnaby and stuff were locked in the lower levels of the factory. So perhaps by being good, being obedient, as Huggy was described, he was allowed more access, where people like Yarnaby, who didn't listen to anybody but Sawyer, people like CatNap, who was loyal to the prototype, they were sent for reconditioning, and they were stuck in these really harsh conditions and things like that. I'm not certain that Theodore was ever properly reconditioned. I think he was always loyal to the prototype, but even if he was reconditioned, I think his loyalty to the prototype overrides that. So even if his conditioning is like, I can't attack the staff members because I remember the bad stuff that happened when I did that and I don't want that to happen again, his loyalty to the prototype is stronger than the fear conditioning he was given. So that really does it for me. So total treatment time was 49 days. What did we see here? Is it just the gas? Or is that CatNap breathing, or is that like the screaming from the Hour of Joy?
I know it's important, but you can't deny the cost is...
Yes, it's very strange. And even the fact that he says his name is CatNap and then his eyes light up.
Yes, your name, please.
Is CatNap.
Oh. So that's where they said the treatment was successful, when he believed that's who he was. And that kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because there's a kid in there. And then, yeah, he obviously attacks this poor guy, which, incredibly interesting, honestly. Like, kind of hoping that is this guy here. Like, as much as I'm like, he didn't really seem to agree with it, at the same time he wasn't doing anything to stop it. And although he was having second thoughts, he was actively participating in the reconditioning of these kids, ultimately. So, kind of hope it's him. I kind of wish it was her more, but I think we can tell from the breathing and stuff from him running, it's a male. But yeah, no, this is incredibly interesting. I have to get my conditioning Pavlov's experiment out ASAP, especially now that this is out, because I think this confirms a lot of what I said in that theory. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of this VHS, or the restricted conditioning tape that we were given on CatNap. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what your theories are on it. Let me know how you feel about them doing this to CatNap. Like, CatNap terrified me in chapter 3. But for each of these experiments, my heart breaks for them on some level, because all of them, from what we know so far, are kids. Like, and that's a lot. I'm not even going to go into that, because I'm like, that hurts my heart. But let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you think of CatNap. Let me know if you do you think CatNap is going to come back in chapter 5? Has the prototype rebuilt him? Has the prototype fixed him? Like, what is this telling us, that CatNap is coming back in chapter 5? Or is, you know, what is happening? Why is CatNap our main experiment for this video? Like, we got a couple of videos of Huggy, like we had him escaping and things like that, and Huggy came back. So is this a hint that CatNap is coming back in chapter 5? But either way, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know what you think about this conditioning. Let me know what you think about that little tag thing that was in his arm? Was it a tracker? Was it an electric shocker? Was it something to deliver serums and things like that? What do you think it was? And let me know what you think of this video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to do all those things. But most importantly, do not forget to keep an eye out on what is coming next with Poppy Playtime, because chapter 5 is right around the corner. Like, chapter 5 is like less than a month away, and all these things that they're releasing for it is making me more and more eager for it. So yeah, drop those comments down below and let me know what you think, and I will see you all hopefully in the next few days when I release my next theory on the conditioning and how I think it ties back to Pavlov's dog experiments. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you all next time. I'm so excited.